of Vermont, we defy all the world. And cheer, cheer, the Green Mountaineer, and cheer, cheer. I need my soul to scream out. How do we get so brave?
Good morning. It's a brand new day. The wind has finally stopped. I'm going to tell you what I think the last prep you can make from now on is. You're probably not going to like it, but deep breath. See you on the other side. As you can see behind me, we are on top of the horse trailer. The hardest part was climbing up here and not tripping over my coat. But it's still cold, but the wind finally stopped. And for the person in the comments who thought this was odd, this is just the way it is around here. I tried to record it to give you an idea of what it's like actually inside the trailer. This is a bit of what it's like. Can you hear that? Of course, it was so violent that it was like, it feels like it's ready to flip. I couldn't get the camera out in time to catch the loudest part. But of course, you know, I should leave the camera on because now that I turn the camera on, it's quieted down. It has been doing this for over 3 days. It looks like I've been beat up. I have such big dark circles underneath my eyes. The way to make the wind stop is to turn the camera on. What do you think, Freedom? It's really scary, isn't it? It's really bad. I tell you, the minute I turn the camera on, the wind noise goes down and the violence de-escalates. So I wanted to have a bit more of a discussion with you. I left you in the last video talking about what does it mean to be frozen. It's a stress response where you can't move, you get stuck. And the way nature deals with that is it shudders, it shakes loose the energy, and then it regroups and it gets moving again. Why we have problems is when we can't shake that energy loose. It gets trapped, and that's what one theory of PTSD actually is. It's that trapped energy. And the number one thing that traps it is fear, which is what we've got more than enough of around us everywhere. It's getting too hard to hold the camera. My hands are still frozen, even if emotionally I'm able to move out of it. And, you know, what came to me this morning is, I'm just going to give you a little example. For those of you who know surfing, you probably know who Laird Hamilton is. And he is known as the father of riding the big wave. It was actually a team, but he was the one that was fairly ruthless and established a name for himself at the cost of many of his friendships. But regardless, he is pure adrenaline junkie, and he knows that the only thing that satisfies that thing in him is riding the next big wave, the ability to ride the ultimate wave, the ultimate ride. And what I think that has to do about with this moment in time is that so many of us have been in the prepping and training and waiting mode for so long. I think that frozen thing I was talking about is that it's we're in this moment of time where we have to shift away from someday and make the decision that we are here now. And so the simple way I would say that is that we're at that point where there's a storm brewing and the waves are gathering height and speed and strength, and we're sitting at the shore and we have to make that decision. Are we going to commit and go all in? Because what's different about this moment in time, and why I liken this to big wave riding, is because once you're on that wave, there's no getting off. There's just riding it until you fall and are swept underneath in the turbulence. And that's really where we are right now. There's no riding it to the point where we're going to have a magical, perfect, happy ending, probably for the next 8 to 10 years. You know, the big target is 2030. Most of you have probably heard that about what this is all about. It's pushing us to a 2030 agenda. And until we get there, it's going to be a long, hard ride on a powerful wave that is massively uncertain. And if you're an adrenaline junkie and you've prepared and trained for this, this is your moment. This is it. This is what we've been waiting for. And that's kind of this last decision. It's no longer about training and preparing. It's about committing and diving in and just dealing with the reality of what's going on. And it's an adjustment. There's no certainty. You know, we could wake up tomorrow and everything could look like it was normal again. But I think that we're just at that point in time where we have to make the decision. There's no more hiding and waiting and hoping. And it doesn't mean that your life is going to change today, but energetically, we're just at that moment in time. And I just wanted to share that. I have a lot of thoughts about what's actually happening. You know, I've known about this for a very long time. This is everything that I've been training and preparing for, and trying to help you guys, which it really hasn't connected. But what I know at this point is that mentally and emotionally, I've done what I need to do. And now I need to adapt, because the physical process we're still adapting to, because we weren't sure which version of the big wave it was going to be. And I think it's going to be medical tyranny. It's going to be the removal of civil liberties. And it's going to be a question of, you know, are you going to conform and comply, or you have to die? And we have to understand that about where we stand in this process, and know that, like I said before, most people over 50 aren't going to make it out of this because we're unnecessary. And I don't say that as a point of, you know, poor me, victim, bad universe, right? I just say that as that, you know, for those of you who understand that good and evil aren't really what's at play here, that there's a bigger process happening, it's just time, you know, that a lot of people came into this world, and a lot of people are going to exit this world, because it's not about being here. It's about what we came to learn and experience while we were here. But that doesn't make this process any less scary, as we are just going to get hit with wave after wave of crisis and chaos and loss of control and uncertainty and instability. And, you know, what I know is that the end of this you won't come out of the end of this, as humans won't come out at the end of this unless we play offense and not defense. But I'm not going to talk about that right now. But so there's just a lot happening. It's time, though, I think, for that final prep. And that is the decision to go all in. That's not a physical thing. That's a mental, emotional, and spiritual decision that when you get that knock on the door, you know what you're going to do. So I just wanted to check in. I'm still processing, you know, where I want to go with all this, because we've passed the point of training and preparing. We are now in it. And so the physical reality will keep adapting. You know, we'll keep figuring out how to get food, how to survive. Those kinds of things will be endless. It's an endless process. But we are in it. So I just wanted to say hi on this lovely morning, with a tiny break for me in not having crazy, crazy winds. So it'll be a race. I can feel it picking up right now, to see how much I can get done today. So with that, I'm going to take a deep breath, my friends, and I will, at this point, see you next time.